Bhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vaitraikapanaye Dhyanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamrita Duhe Namaha Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So let's continue our discussions on Bhagavad Gita from where we left off. So we are studying right now third chapter. So we will continue from the third chapter. So in today's session, I would be going on till 10:30. Today I will speak for 1.5 hours. But from tomorrow onwards, we will have 2 hour session. So complete 2 hour session. It's just that today, I will have to end in 1.5 hours, a little bit early because of some service tomorrow morning. So fine. So what we will do is like how we have been doing before also in the online sessions. I will read the verse and then I'll ask one of you to read the translation and then we'll discuss on the verses. Okay. So please be available to read the translations. Whenever I call out someone's name, please make sure that you respond and you read the translation or whatever else, some part of purport that I'm asking. Okay. So this is now third chapter. So I'll just share my screen. So all of you have this PPT with you. This is shared with you, right? So now this is Karma Yoga. This chapter is named as Karma Yoga. And we have Hare Krishna. You can hear me clearly, right? Is there any issue?
Yes, Prabhu, we can hear, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Pranam, Prabhuji. Thank you. Welcome you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay. So you can say this is chapter third. We have already begun also. We saw first 3 verses of this chapter. So you can see these are the sections here. In detail, you can see this 3.1 to 9. The discussion is how Karma Yoga is better than Jnana Yoga. Krishna here makes a direct comparison between Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. And Krishna says that actually Karma Yoga is better. It is better in the sense we will see that for somebody who has not yet a purified heart, Jnana Yoga is going to be very difficult. So Karma Yoga is better. It is not higher. You have to understand this. Nishkam Karma Yoga is said to be more recommended here. Uh, Otherwise, usually in the yoga ladder, Jnana Yoga is higher actually. But why is Krishna then saying that Karma Yoga is better? He is saying that because Jnana Yoga has a prerequisite called as Antakaran Shuddhi, purification of heart. So without that, if someone tries to practice Jnana Yoga, which means karma sannyas, which means giving up the activities, within varnashrama. See, even sannyas is varnashrama, within varnashrama. But when we say karma sannyas, what does it mean? It means giving up the especially duties of varnashrama, which are meant for, first three ashramas. So that's why karma sannyas is often considered to be renunciation of varnashrama. Although technically sannyas is still within varnashrama, but still it's considered to be like varnashrama tyag. Why? Because one does not act so much in the capacity of uh, brahmachari, vanaprastha or sannyas, vanaprastha or grahastha, that way. So what Krishna is saying here in first 9 verses is that actually karma yoga is more recommended. It's a better path. It's a safer path. It's a path for most of the people actually. Why? Because it's a path which has engagement to the senses. It's a path which does not require prerequisite of purification of the heart, antakaran shuddhi. And finally, it also leads to the same goal as Jnana Yoga. One can also achieve moksha by the path of Nishkam Karma Yoga. If one continues to perform that, eventually one will be able to attain moksha, which is the goal of Jnana Yoga. So then we see that Karma Yoga is safer, it is more universal, and it gives the same destination also. So why would it not be recommended? And in this specific context, all the more because Krishna wants Arjuna to fight. Krishna does not want Arjuna to give up the battle and go away. So that's why Krishna says Nishkam Karma Yoga is actually better. You don't go away by taking karma sannyas. You fight the war because Karma Yoga is better. By Karma Yoga, I always mean Nishkam Karma Yoga. Understand it. If Arjuna were to say that I am qualified for, Jnana Yoga, or I am not qualified for Jnana Yoga, in either of the cases, Krishna says, no, still you should perform Nishkam Karma Yoga. If you are not qualified for Nishkam Karma Yoga, if Arjuna says that, then Krishna says, okay, then go one step below. Go to Karma Kand and fight with the Karma Kandi motivation, no problem. But you don't give up fighting. If Arjuna says, no, I'm qualified for Jnana Yoga, then Krishna says, no, still practice Karma Yoga to set proper examples. To set proper examples. Yad yad acharati sreshthas. So if you set a good example, see, you may be qualified for Jnana Yoga, but people are going to see your example. Oh, Arjuna renounced his duty at the brink of the war and went away. So we can also do this. We can also give up our responsibility and go in forest. So that's not a good example, Arjuna. You may be qualified for Jnana Yoga, but set a good example for everyone. So that's why you practice Karma Yoga. See how Krishna is uh, making sure that Arjuna has to fight the battle. If you are not qualified for Karma Yoga, then fight out on the level of Karma Kand. If you are qualified for Jnana Yoga, then also fight for the sake of setting a good example of Nishkam Karma Yoga. This way. So then Krishna in 25 to 29, he also clarifies again what is exact difference between Karma Kand and Karma Yoga. how Karma Yoga finally gives the same destination like Jnana Yoga is spoken in 30 to 35. And finally, what is the biggest obstacle in practice of this Nishkam Karma Yoga? So that's the desire for sense enjoyment, uh, lust. That's the basis of Karma Kand. So Krishna says, well, just overcome this lust so that you can be situated on the platform of Nishkam Karma Yoga. I mean, you understand, he is basically inspiring Arjuna and everyone else, all the readers, to practice Nishkam Karma Yoga. So, pertaining to that, in this chapter, he is giving the difference between Nishkam Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga and telling how Nishkam Karma Yoga is better than Jnana Yoga. It is more recommended than Jnana Yoga, although it is not higher than Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga is only higher. But what is that which is more universal, which is more recommended, and in the immediate context of fighting, all the more? If this talk would have been probably in some, you could say in some setting where, like take that setting of Uddhav Gita itself. So if this talk would have been in that setting, probably Krishna would have glorified Jnana Yoga more than Nishkam Karma Yoga. It's likely. Why? Because in general, yeah, that path is higher. But then, yeah, it has to have that qualification of pure heart. If we are not having a pure heart on path of Jnana Yoga, Krishna will tell what happens. Karmendriyani sanyamya. Ya aste manasa smarat. Indriyarthan vimudhatma. Mithyachara sauchyate. We will become mithyacharis if we don't have a pure heart. At least if we are not striving to get a pure heart. We may not have pure heart, but at least we should be striving for it. Then such a person is qualified to be on the path of renunciation. But if one is not even striving, instead one is just cultivating the sense gratification secretly, then one is very fallen. That is mithyachar. Mithyachar sahochyate. So Krishna speaks about these pitfalls. But then he also shows the difference between karma kand and karma yoga, and shows how you have to cross over this obstacle called lust if you want to be situated steadily on the platform of Nishkam Karma Yoga. So that's how this chapter is highlighting Nishkam Karma Yoga. You can see that that's basically the thrust with which Krishna is speaking. So now let's move to the chapter verses and the explanations by Prabhupada. So we have seen the first three verses, right? In the first verse, Arjuna expressed his confusion that Jayasi, you say that Buddhi is Jayasi, Buddhi is superior to karma. Uh, you said Jnana Yoga is superior to Buddhi Yoga, or yeah, Buddhi is superior to Karma Yoga. Then why do you engage me in the karma only, karma of fighting? But we have seen that by Buddhi Yoga, Krishna never meant Jnana Yoga. He meant actually Nishkam Karma Yoga. So Krishna is saying Nishkam Karma Yoga is higher than uh, Karma Kand, acting with a materialistic desire. But Arjuna takes it to mean that Krishna is saying Jnana Yoga is higher than fighting. Uh, so why do you engage me in this ghastly warfare? Arjuna says. In fact, Vyamishrena iva vakyena, by sort of by sort of equivocal words, you are bewildering my intelligence. Please speak one thing by which I can get the Shreyas, the ultimate benefit. So Krishna says, see, I spoke to you that there are two paths. One is the path of Jnana Yoga or Sankhya Yoga, and another is path of the Karma Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga. And both these paths, he says, they are bona fide paths. Both the paths lead to the same goal, actually. Nishkam Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga. The goal is the moksha. But one path is more recommended than others. That's the next topic now. Text 4. Na karmana manarambhat naishkarmyam purushoshnute na cha sanyasanadeva siddhim samadhigacchati. Okay. Manoj Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Now, by merely abstaining from the work can one achieve freedom from the reaction, nor by renunciation alone can one attain perfection.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So you can see Krishna's purpose is to tell that Jnana Yoga and Nishkam Karma Yoga. So Nishkam Karma Yoga is what is recommended. So what does Krishna say? Na karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam purushoshnute. Hey Arjuna, the Purusha, a man or a person, he does not achieve naishkarmya just by abstaining from work. Jnana Yoga is abstaining from work, right? You don't perform any varnashrama duties especially. So if you abstain from the work, anarambha, arambha means beginning, anarambha, not beginning. So not acting, not beginning any karma. So will it lead to naishkarmya? What does naishkarmya mean? Freedom from reaction. Naishkarmya, meaning there is no karma. One is not causing any bondage. So just by abstaining from work or just by taking the Jnana Yoga process, it's not that it will lead to Naishkarmya. It will lead to freedom from all the karma, freedom from the bondage. It will not happen like that. Why? Why will it not happen like that? Because you have to have a pure heart for Jnana Yoga. With a pure heart, if you perform Jnana Yoga, which means abstaining from work, then it will lead to Naishkarmya. And not just by not doing the work. So you see, because of that prerequisite, he is saying like this. Nacha sanyasana deva siddhim samadhi gacchati. And just by sanyasan, just by renouncing, it's not that you will achieve perfection. Obviously, if you are not going to achieve Naishkarmya, meaning freedom from bondage, so how are you going to achieve Siddhi? Siddhi is even further. Siddhi here would mean moksha actually. Uh, so if you don't have freedom from bondage only, if you don't become a Jivan Mukta, how will you become a Videha Mukta? Siddhi would lead to Videha Mukta, one who has gone beyond the material world. While Naishkarmyam will show the aspect of Jivan Mukta, one who is within this world but free from bondage. So it's not possible that by just merely giving up all Varnashrama duties, you will achieve Naishkarmya. No. Krishna says that. You see, Prabhupada writes such a crux point here. The renounced order of life can be accepted. One has been purified by the discharge of the prescribed form of duty. See, this is that purification, Antakaran Shuddhi. Right there in the first line, he is speaking. Who can accept renounced order of life? One who has become purified by the discharge of the prescribed form of duties. He has done his duties nicely, and now that person has become free from the desire to enjoy in this material world. The person, see, becoming free from desire to enjoy does not mean one has love of Godhead. No. This is only speaking about the aspect of that anarthas, to enjoy the material world, those have gone away. Further, getting love of Godhead is a very far thing. This is only addressing at the level of anarthas. That too, anarthas like, basic anarthas. Those of you who have read Madhurya Kadambini may be knowing there are 4 kinds of anarthas. So this is just speaking about first 2 kinds of anarthas. Sukrutotha, Dushkrutotha. So at least one has become free from the desire to enjoy the material world. One has to develop love for Godhead. That is a very further thing. But at least this much should happen by the duty of by the prescribed duty that one has done. Uh, so which are laid down. I mean, these duties are laid down to purify the hearts of materialistic men. What is that purification? What is that purification? The purification means transforming our heart from the desire to enjoy to the desire to serve. That's called purification. Where we actually have given up the desire for selfish enjoyment, and we want to, especially in Krishna consciousness, we want to serve the Supreme Lord. Nothing for me, everything for Krishna. Even if one is accumulating something, but point is one's consciousness is that this is all for Krishna's pleasure, Krishna's devotee's pleasure, Guru's pleasure. And one is not just saying it, but one also strives to offer it in the service of the Lord. This way. Without purification, one cannot attain success by abruptly adopting the fourth order of life, sannyas. So you see, Krishna is right in the first verse itself. He's saying that, see, it's the matter is purification. So if you don't have it, don't aspire for jnana yoga. This way. According to empirical philosophers, simply by adopting sannyas or retiring from furtive activities, one at once becomes as good as Narayana. You have heard this idea? See, this is the ideas of Mayavadis. This is the idea of Mayavadis. Danda grahana matrena naro narayano bhavet. They say. Danda grahan, just by holding a sannyas danda, you become, Nara becomes into Narayana. Is it possible that Nara can ever become Narayana? It's impossible, right? But their idea is you take sannyas, so you have become pure, so you are one with Brahman, you are Brahman, I am Brahman, everybody is Brahman. So Nar ka Narayan ho gaya bas, you know. But Krishna does not approve this principle, you can see. Without purification of heart, sannyas is simply a disturbance to the social order. So that's why Arjuna is recommending, Krishna is recommending Arjuna that you fight the battle, and you know, that would be the best thing. So it's an instruction for actually everyone, because if our heart is not pure and we want to adopt the renounced order of life, it's not good. It will be a disturbance to the social order. In fact, this aspect is so much there even in Krishna consciousness. Krishna is here comparing Jnana Yoga. He is not comparing Vaishnav sannyas. Understand this. It's a very subtle point. Krishna is not comparing Vaishnava sannyas or Vaishnava renunciation with Nishkam Karma Yoga. No. If it is Vaishnava sannyas or Vaishnava renunciation, we are not adopting the path of, you could say, no activity. No. In bhakti, even the sannyas is the path of activity. Yukta vairagya. Anasaktasya vishayan यथार्हम उपयुञ्जतः निर्बन्धः कृष्ण संबंधे युक्तम वैराग्यम उच्यते. Vishayan anasaktasya. We, even in the renounced order of life, a Vaishnava, he is detached from the sense objects. Yatharham upabhunjatah, as much it is needed, that much he will accept. Whatever, little bit food you have to accept. So then that much food, that much facility, whatever is needed for that particular service, that much facility one can accept. And Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe, and especially the objects related to Krishna, he is very much interested in it. You should understand this verse from the way Rup Goswami has spoken it. Very beautiful, actually. In Bhakti Samrit Sindhu, we will see the definition of this. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe. For the objects related to Krishna, there is nirbandha. The devotee is extremely eager to collect those objects. That is called nirbandha Krishna Sambandhi. So that's not how a Gyan Yogi acts. He basically rejects the world. But a devotee, कृष्ण संबंधे तो निर्बंध आग्रह अस्ति। भगवान से संबंधित विषयों में या चीजों में तो उसका आग्रह होता है। ही वॉन्ट्स टू अकम्प्लिश देम। दैट वैराग्य इज कॉल्ड एज युक्तम वैराग्यम उच्यते। सो कृष्ण इज कंपेयरिंग ज्ञान योगा, which is a path of nishkriyata, karma sannyas. Vaishnavism is not the path of karma sannyas. So on the path of Vaishnavism, even if somebody is a brahmachari, somebody is a sannyasi, it's not path of karma sannyas. It's a path of engaging. It's a path of yukta vairagya, you could say. So I'm giving you the precise understanding when I'm speaking also between jnana yoga and bhakti yoga, jnana yoga and nishkam karma yoga. So that's why on the path of Vaishnavism, even if somebody is not pure, so if one takes that path of bhakti yoga, and if one is striving to become pure, that's considered most glorious. It is not considered to be a disturbance to social order. You can apply these words of Prabhupada for jnana yoga, not for the path of renunciation in bhakti yoga. Of course, that doesn't mean that those who are renunciates in bhakti yoga, they have license to do anything and everything. No, not at all. Not like that. But the point is, on the path of bhakti, the process itself is so glorious that even if somebody is not pure, but one has a desire to become pure, one has a desire to become, give that life full time for Krishna, it's considered perfect then. One is allowed to renounce the varnashrama and go and pursue that path. Tavat karmani kurvit न निर्विद्येत यावता मत कथा दो व रुचि यावन न जायते. Actually, as soon as the shraddha for nirguna bhakti is developed, one can give up the varnashrama duties. But that shraddha, that much should be at least there. Shraddha of nirguna bhakti, where one is convinced that Krishna bhakti koile sarva karma krita hoye. So then one can be allowed, such a person can be allowed to take up the path of renunciation. So this is the point. So actually on the path of jnana yoga, you have to be renounced, in the sense you have to have the antakaran shuddhi, but that's not needed on the path of bhakti. On path of bhakti, you should have just a very sincere desire to become pure, and then try to follow the rules and regulations as laid out by the acharyas for that particular path. If that happens, then bhakti process is so wonderful that it will purify very quickly the heart of even somebody who is impure. That way. That's the process of bhakti. Sevon mukhehi jivvavdo swayameva spuratyada. In this way. So Krishna is speaking primarily about jnana yoga here. But still, on the path of bhakti also, there is importance that we don't just remain a hypocrite devotee. On one hand, we are showing great renunciation, or we are showing, great advanced, we are like advanced devotee, but in the heart of hearts, we are cherishing sense gratification. We are cultivating sense gratification. It should not happen like that. And नाके तिलक गलाए माला ये तो अनेक कलीर चेला. Right? Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, and नाके tilak. There is tilak on the nose, nake. Gaudi has right special. Galay mala. There is mala in the kanthi mala in the neck, but ये तो अनेक कलिर चेला. But this is actually an agent of Kali. Like that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says quite strongly, he speaks about that. Sahaj bhajan kare chen mamu. But he says, Sahaj bhajan karichen mamu. Paray bala. Finally, he says, he is doing Sahajiya bhajan, but he is taking Paray bala. He is taking other man's wife with him. So he is like critiquing that mentality of cultivating sense gratification while being in a so-called Vaishnav renounced order. No, so that's not good. So we also have to strive for purity. At least there should be striving for purity. One is trying to strive it. Then Krishna will accept. Then Krishna will give the advancement. So this is the point here. As far as Krishna is there, he's speaking the aspect of basically he's speaking the aspect of Jnana Yoga versus Karma Yoga over here, and that's why he's saying without purification of that heart, uh, it's not actually Jnana Yoga will not give that kind of perfection this way. So that's how Krishna is speaking over here. All right. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tifthatya karmakrit karyate hyavashah karma sarvah prakriti jayar gune. Prabhapati Prabhu, you can read, Prabhu. Is it?
Everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has acquired from the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment.
Yeah. In fact, see, Krishna says that action is so natural for us. You just cannot follow the path of non-action. It's not easy to follow the path of non-action. What is the path of non-action? Anybody wants to tell? What do we mean by non-action here? Yeah.
Not doing any activity, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So what does that mean? Which path is that? I'm saying
Sannyas, Prabhuji?
karma sannyas. Yeah, very nice. Okay, good. Fine. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Param Sundari Mataji. Thank you. Yeah. So, text 5, Krishna is saying that, in fact, the path of non-action, it's not even possible to perform fully. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tifthatya karmakrit. Actually, nobody can stay without performing some work, at least for a, I mean, even for a moment. Even for a moment. Kshanamapi. एक क्षण के लिए भी अकर्मकृत नहीं रह सकता है कोई. It's not possible, right? You will do something. At least you will think about something. You will at least breathe, right? At least breathe. So, एक क्षण के लिए भी क्षणमपि अपि कश्चित् अकर्मकृत न जातु तिष्ठति. Nobody can stay without an activity even for a moment. So we are talking about karma sannyas, but is that even possible? Factually, literally speaking, it's not possible. But that's what they call karma sannyas. Although it is, yes, agreed that some karma you have to do, but then, yeah, still it's called karma sannyas. That's the term that they use. But Krishna is saying, literally speaking, in fact, it's not even possible to actually be a karma sannyasi. Karyate hyavashah karma sarva prakriti jair gune. Why do you say that? Because everybody will be forced to act. Everybody is forced to act. Why? Prakriti jair gunai. Because one has come in this world with certain gunas that have come by Prakriti. In our antakaran, in our inner subtle body, there is influence of gunas already cultivated from the prior karma. So in our mind, in our intelligence, in our buddhi, in our chitta, there are these samskaras. Some people are violent. Some people are very peaceful. Some people are very political. Some people are very, you could say, non-partial, impartial. Now, why is that? That is because one is coming with certain gunas. And those gunas, then they get further strengthened by the kind of association we have in this life also. Suppose you come up with a certain impression in your antakaran, but you get a very good association. Then those impressions will be slowly purified and they will go away. But the point is, if one does not get that kind of association also, so then they will in turn have their effect. So one thing is for sure, that everybody is forced to act in this world because of the swabhava gunas that one has cultivated from prior life. So how can one be actually inactive? Krishna is saying it's not possible. Action is very natural. And Prabhupada writes such a beautiful line, you can see. It is not a question of embodied life, but it is the nature of the soul to be always active. You can see, it's not that embodied soul means, embodied life means we are actually, only because of having a body. Prabhupada is saying, it's not that. Sometimes Mayavadis say this. Basically, this is Mayavadi's argument. What they say, the soul is active because of the body, because of being conditioned into ignorance. But once that ignorance is destroyed, there is no activity, they say. There is no activity, there is no attribute, there is no smell, there is no taste, there is no talk, there is nothing. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. This is their idea. But Prabhupada says that actually body is like a burden to the soul. So with burden, if the soul is this active, you remove the burden, it will be more active, right? It will be more active or less active. Like you have some burden on your, back. You are taking some 5 kg, 10 kg on your back and walking. And then once that burden is removed, you throw the bag away, then you can walk so fast. So similarly, the soul, on the soul, this body is like a covering. So in spite of that, we see the soul is so active, embodied soul. So when that body is taken away, how much more the soul will be active, right? So it is a very good logic that Prabhupada is giving. It's not that the soul will be inactive. No. In fact, it will be purely active. It will be active in service of Krishna. The body is only a dead vehicle to be worked by the spirit soul, which is always active and cannot stop even for a moment. So this is the point. So that's why Prabhupada says that it's best that the spirit soul should be engaged in good work of Krishna consciousness. Not that we take karma sannyas, but instead we engage ourselves in the actions of Nishkam Karma Yoga, or the best version is Bhakti Yoga. You can see. The spirit soul has to be engaged in the good work of Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada is speaking on the level of Bhakti Yoga. You know that. We talked about that already. Yes. If the soul is engaged in his natural function of Krishna consciousness, whatever he is able to do is good for him. So, see, this beautiful verse comes from first canto, 5th chapter. Narad Muni speaks, and in the last verse, I was speaking about this idea that on the path of renunciation in bhakti, even if somebody is immature in his renunciation, it is not considered a loss. It is not a loss at all. Tyaktva swadharmam charanambujam harer bhajan napakvoth patet tato yadi yatra kva va bhadram abhodam mushyakim ko va artha apto bhajatam swadharmata. Narad Muni says, apakvo, apakva. Pakva means fully ripened. Apakva, not ripened. If somebody on the path of bhakti, because of unripened renunciation, or you could say imperfect renunciation, falls down. So Narad Muni says, well, yatra kva va bhadram abhud. क्या अभद्र हुआ उसका, उसका क्या अभद्र हुआ है? Even if one falls from the path of renunciation, but because it is path of bhakti, the person will certainly be taken care of by Supreme Lord. So what inauspiciousness has happened to him? Nothing. On the other hand, somebody does his varnashrama duties perfectly, but one is not abhajatam. Abhajatam, this is the word. One is not doing bhajan of Krishna. What good he has done? He may be doing very nice varnashrama duties, but he is not a devotee only. So what good he has done? No good actually. Narad Muni is glorifying bhakti in a very extraordinary way. So it's not like we, you could say, encourage immature renunciation, but we have to also know the glory of path of bhakti. Even if there is, because of unfortunate circumstances, there is a fall on the path of bhakti, like it, like Shastras depict some examples like Bharat Maharaj. These are only examples. Actually, Bharat Maharaj cannot fall from the platform of Bhava, but it is shown to in order to drive home a certain point. So even if there is a fall like that, we see that it's Krishna takes care that way. So we see that even on the path of bhakti, so many of Srila Prabhupada's disciples and all later had some difficulties. Some of them could not even continue bhakti, they fell down. But then still Prabhupada arranged for all of them to be taken care in the last moments of their life. They were miraculously brought back in Krishna consciousness. And in a beautiful environment where the devotees were chanting for them, Sankirtan was going on, and these devotees left their body. Prabhupada arranged for them. In fact, Prabhupada arranged for them even to be taken back to spiritual world. So, on the path of bhakti, we should be alert, no doubt about it. But even then, because of some unfortunate circumstances, if we see that there is some accident, Prabhupada said, even on the royal road, there could be accidents, Prabhupada said. So sometimes devotees may be sincerely practicing also, but then if they, so whatever, a number of reasons, if they are inattentive or if they are offensive, they start criticizing others and all, then sometimes then Krishna may punish such a devotee. So still it's not considered to be a fault because eventually Krishna will bring back such a devotee this way. But if it's jnana yoga or like that, then it is very deadly. Why? Because on that path we see that there is no engagement to the senses. So if one is impure, if one is cultivating some mithyachar, then it would become a disaster. One will fall from that path, and then one could neither accomplish jnana yoga, nor nor can one go back to nishkam karma yoga. Becomes a very precarious kind of condition that way. So that's why Krishna is saying that actually who can be even for that matter uh, a literal karma sannyasi? It's not even possible. So that's why Prabhupada says the purificatory process is necessary for reaching this point of Krishna consciousness. Sannyas or any purificatory process is to help reach the ultimate goal of becoming Krishna conscious, without which everything is considered a failure. So the way Prabhupada is explaining is that those who perform the prescribed duties and all that, eventually these people will become qualified to come to bhakti. That way Prabhupada is saying this. Purificatory process is necessary for reaching this point of Krishna consciousness means what? It doesn't mean that for practicing bhakti you have to be pure before only. He's not saying that. What he is saying is, within Krishna consciousness, if one wants to practice bhakti at the level of renunciation or like that, then one should be also practicing bhakti before that. Do that service, do the activities of Krishna consciousness, practice it nicely, become pure, and then one can take up that renounced order of life that way. So otherwise, if we put a condition to bhakti that before only one should be pure, that will directly violate the condition of bhakti, right? Bhakti doesn't need any prerequisite. Bhakti only needs the prerequisite of Shraddha. That's the only qualification needed. So you understand what he's trying to say here is basically that yes, we have to take up that path of gradual purification. So traditional setting, Krishna is speaking that one has to take the path of Nishkam Karma Yoga, so that one becomes pure, and then one can take to the path of Nishkam Karma Yoga. I mean, one can take to the path of Jnana Yoga, or one can continue on the path of Nishkam Karma Yoga to set a good example, like that, in this way. As far as Krishna consciousness is concerned, we encourage the people right from beginning to engage their senses, and even at the level of sannyas, it is engagement of the senses. So throughout it is yukta vairagya. Yukta comes from yoga, actually. Yoga means connection. Yukta means connected. So yukta vairagya, it is a vairagya which is connected, in the sense one is utilizing one's mind and senses in Krishna's service. It's a connection of the devotee with Krishna by employing his senses. That's called yukta, literally speaking. So you understand? This is why Prabhupada is glorifying the aspect of bhakti over here. So if one does not have that purification and one wants to follow the path of Jnana Yoga, what is the disaster? That's spoken in the next verse now. कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन् इंद्रियार्थान् विमूढ़ात्मा मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते. Okay. Asimanand Krishnanam Prabhu, you would be able to read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat pranam, Prabhu. Dandavat pranam.
One who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. So Krishna is speaking actually quite strongly here. You can see he's calling a pretender. Karmendriyani sanyamya. One has put just a minute. One has put the working senses on hold. One is controlling the working senses. You know the working senses, hands, legs, and all of that. So karmendriyani sanyamya. Ya aste manasa smaran. But one is, by his mind, one is actually, he is constantly remembering what? Indriyarthan. He is remembering the sense objects. One is cultivating in his mind the remembrance of sense objects. So that means that the karmendriyas, the working senses, have been restricted. But the mind is very active, contemplating on the sense objects. So such person, Krishna is saying, Vimud Atma. He is actually fool. He is a fool number one. Such a person. He is foolish. Mithyachara. And he is known as Mithyachar. He is known as Mithyachari. Or Mithyachar, basically. It is a pretender. Mithya means false. Achar means whatever his actions are actually false. They are not true. So you'll see, it's very, very important that if one has taken up the renounced order of life, then one is also practicing it. One is at least not causing the mind to cultivate the sense gratificatory thoughts. See, Shastras do not condemn having material desires. They do not condemn. They condemn holding on to material desires. Huh? You understand this? Shastras don't condemn so much having material desires. That everybody in Kali Yuga, what Kali Yuga? Everybody in the material world is supposed to have it. That's how they are in material world. Why they should be in material world? So Shastras don't condemn having material desires, but they condemn holding on to them. They condemn cultivating them. If you are cultivating material desires, then that is considered to be abominable. Then such a person is mithyachari actually. Otherwise, see, all of us, we have our anarthas and all, right? But we are trying to purify ourselves. We are trying to stay away from sense objects. So if we are trying sincerely to stay away from sense objects, we are trying to engage our minds. In our mind, it's not that we are cultivating sense enjoyment further. And by sense enjoyment, it doesn't mean only lust. It can mean all the other things also. It can mean lust, it can mean greed, it can mean pride. It can mean all these negative emotions of kama, krodh, lobha, moha, and all of that. So then that would be called a mithyachar, this way. So it's important that we strive hard for becoming pure by engaging our mind this way, like that. So to enjoy to enjoy a position without executing the sacrifice and responsibility of that position, that is mithyachar. You enjoy a position of being a renounced person or whatever. It can be applied in a generic sense also. One may enjoy the position of being the leader of the devotees, but if he's not performing his responsibilities, that is also mithyachar. One may enjoy being in a certain post and one is taking those privileges of the post, but one does not want to act responsibly, then that's a mithyachar. You can extend this principle in any walk of life actually, right? So especially Krishna is speaking here in context of Jnana Yoga, but basically that's hypocrisy, right? If one takes great respect and privileges, but one is not acting on that level, at least not striving to come on that platform, instead secretly enjoying sense gratification or like that, then that's called mithyachar, this way. So that's why Bhagavatam says, Gurur na sasyat, Pita na sasyat, Janani na sasyat. You should never become a guru, you should never become a parent, you should never become a teacher, provided you cannot take the dependent beyond the repeated birth and death. Meaning, at least you are striving very hard. The jivas have their free will, but at least you are striving very hard. You are making the arrangement for their spiritual emancipation. And then only we have right to become a father or a mother or a teacher or a guru or whatever. All these responsible positions like that, this way. So it's about the responsibility that way. So as far as we are concerned in bhakti, so we should make sure that we stay away from the anartha triggering situations. If there are some situations which trigger our anarthas, let it be lust or let it be greed or pride or envy, we should stay away from those situations. Out of sight, out of mind. But on the same side, also we should cultivate the mind with positive thoughts of Krishna consciousness. If we are just keeping out of sight, out of mind, as soon as we are within the sight, then it will be within the mind also. But if we fill up our mind with Krishna, if we fill up our mind with plans for serving Krishna, then we will see that there won't be much scope, no, for the Maya to pollute us. So that's why a sincere devotee is alert. He is alert. He would stay away from especially all sort of sense objects, but especially sense objects which will trigger our anarthas, right? So sometimes we know there are some distracting elements in our life. So we should stay away from them, sincerely strive to stay away from them. And also chant Hare Krishna, read Bhagavatam, serve the devotees, seek the blessings of devotees, pray so that our mind actually becomes pure. So that even if unfortunately we come in those sites, the mind has now got the higher taste. Param drishtva nivartate. So material desires is a normal thing for a sadhaka, but we should not intentionally cultivate them. We should not further agitate the mind unnecessarily. Uh, this should happen. So Krishna is talking about internal change and external change. That's the point here. This way. Krishna is not rejecting renunciation outrightly, but he's talking that it should be compatible. It should be external should go with internals. They should be there this way, like that. So in bhakti, because we engage our mind and senses, so we see that that mithyachari tendency will quickly go away. Because we start engaging our senses. So naturally, senses start becoming pure. The devotee starts becoming purer and purer. He also understands that, okay, this is actually impurity in my heart, because Krishna, naturally, Krishna shows also that, see, this is the impurity in your heart. So you have a long way to go. But the fortunate thing is that same Krishna is also ready to cleanse our heart. Shrinvatam swakatah Krishna Punyashravana Kirtana Pradhyantasto Bhadrani Vidhunoti Suritsatam. He is such a wonderful person that he is such a friend and benefactor that he himself will Visheshena Dhunoti, Vidhunoti. He will specifically cleanse. Not just he will cleanse our heart, but he just exactly knows which anarthas, which weaknesses, and he will clean that up that way. So it is so wonderful. The process of bhakti has this great support of support, or you could say the main factor of blessing of Krishna and the mercy of Krishna. Prabhupada. There are many pretenders who refuse to work in Krishna consciousness but make a show of meditation, while actually dwelling within the mind upon sense enjoyment. Such pretenders may also speak on dry philosophy in order to bluff sophisticated followers. But according to this verse, these are the greatest cheaters. So sometimes people may take Krishna consciousness as to be, working in Varnashrama or like that. Like typically these Jnanis or Mayavadis, they have this idea, oh, devotees, okay. You work in Varnashrama, yes. We are beyond. We have taken the path of karma sannyas. You do the activities. Bhakti is व्यावहारिक, they say. हाँ, व्यावहारिक स्तर पे भक्ति कीजिए आप. हम तो पारमार्थिक स्तर पे. Mayavadi speak about these three aspects. They speak about pratibhasik, vyavaharik, and paramarthik. So those who are ignorant people, their idea is, if you consider yourself as at the level that your body, that is called as pratibhasik level, ignorance. Then more one level beyond that is vyavharik, where you consider yourself as soul. So you may say, what? This is not highest level? No, not as per them. They say vyavharik. If you consider yourself as a soul and Krishna as supreme soul, that's vyavharik reality. It's not actually true. And then they say paramarthik is where you consider, oh, actually there is only one soul, Brahman. I am Brahman, you are Brahman, everybody is Brahman. So when they see Krishna consciousness, they say, you people are vyavharik level, conventional. It's okay. You people can do the bhakti. But we are actually followers of karma sannyas, because we understand that the soul is ultimately inactive, so to say. But that is such a bogus idea. Prabhupada is saying these are the greatest cheaters actually. They may bluff and they may speak on dry philosophy, but Oftentimes, these people fall also prey to sense objects, right? We see that so many, especially in today's day and time, many people from the path of Mayavadis also, such spectacular fall downs, very unfortunate. Of course, even in bhakti, someone may say there are devotees who have fallen, but at least we see this aspect that these devotees, they become humble and then they take to path of bhakti, they sincerely lament or like that. But oftentimes on the path of jnana or like that, even after falling down, people still remain very proud and they want to justify themselves, and it's it's very sad actually. Why? Because that consciousness is not cultivated only. It's a ego boosting path actually. So for sense enjoyment, one can act in any capacity of the social order, but if one follows the rules and regulations of his particular status, he can make gradual progress in purifying his existence. But he who makes a show of being a yogi while actually searching for the objects of sense gratification must be called the greatest cheater. So that is very deadly, right? If you are a jnana yogi, be a jnana yogi. Stay away from sense objects and cultivate meditation, cultivate reading of Shastras, then it is fine. But showing as if one is a very great yogi or jnani, but one is contemplating on sense objects, then Krishna is calling him as mithyachari. So we even in bhakti, we should get rid of this mithyachari tendencies. We should remain sincere in our ashram and the responsibility and privileges of that ashram. And especially, Krishna conscious renunciation is not a very dry renunciation like the path of jnana yoga or like that, but at least purity in terms of the right desires, cultivation of the right aspects of bhakti, that should be there. Shouldn't be like we become mithyacharis completely. No. So this is the point. Yastvindriyani manasa niyamya Arjuna karmaindriyaihi karmayogam asaktah sa vishishyate. So instead, Krishna says actually Nishkam Karma Yogi is much, much better. He says that such a person is actually much better. Okay. So, Shri Padambosh Prabhu, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
On the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by the mind and begins karma yoga in Krishna consciousness without attachment, he is by far superior.
Yeah. So instead of that, he starts controlling the senses by engaging himself by karmendriyas. Slowly, he starts accepting some regulation, and then one engages his mind. One engages his mind and senses, and in this way lives a regulated life as per his varna and ashrama. That's actually sa visheshyate, wo vishesh hai. That personality is special. He is better, you could say. Asaktah, but this word is important. Asaktah. Asaktah, asaktah. To mean different things. Asaktah means one who is attached. Asaktah means one who is not attached. So such a person who is cultivating detachment, but he is engaging his mind and senses. So basically, he is engaging his mind and senses, but cultivating detachment. Let everything be done for pleasure of the Supreme. Nishkam Karma Yogi, he acts, but he acts as everything as offering to the Supreme. He acts like, I perform this activity for the sake of doing my duty as an offering to the Supreme. So he does not become attached with the fruits of the action or all those things. And what to speak of a devotee? He does everything for the pleasure of Krishna. Whatever he does, his job, his activities, his earning money, he wants to have this consciousness that this is Krishna's family. And this is not my wife or my children, actually. These are the souls, these are servants of Krishna who have been given in my custody for this life, that's all. So let me render good service to them and please Krishna. And we don't know, next life, we will all go to our destinations. Right? What is family actually? By different karma, people have come together. But the glory of bhakti is that now that they have come together, they all can go back together to the back home, back to Godhead. Otherwise, material life is just by karma, people coming together, and by the passage of time, they go to their next destination. That's it. Vasudev says to Nanda Maharaj in 10th canto that it's like, these sticks or these grass sticks coming together by the flow of river. Some grass sticks or like that, leaves and all, they come together and they stay for some time, and again by the flow of the water they go away. Similarly, the relationships are there in this world. They are like that, right? So if one cultivates bhakti within that, takes everything as a Krishna conscious service, then we see that such a bhakti would give advancement even through the path of bhakti. I mean, even through the path of doing all these activities like job or like that. If one has the right consciousness, one will make the great advancement. One will be able to make bhakti and that advancement on the path of bhakti. So Krishna is recommending this very much. He is recommending karma yoga to Arjuna, that instead of going to Jnana Yoga without a purified heart, Arjuna, best is to act under regulation with a desire for purification, being detached from the sense enjoyment. One acts and thus becomes purified within his heart. So if one does the Nishkam Karma Yoga duty, it's the nature of these duties, and it's the nature of Varnashrama, it's the nature of Vaidika karma activities. And such people also have their own gurus and all, right? Nishkam Karma Yogi also has his guru on that path. So by hearing their instructions and all, such people also become, after some time, they become detached from all sense enjoyment. They have genuinely lost taste for the sense enjoyment. That's the point. One has to genuinely lose the taste for whatever taste one has for the objects of this world. So then such a person is actually a very qualified candidate for furthering the spiritual life, for cultivating the spiritual life in this way. So on the path of Nishkam Karma Yoga, it happens by that sincere execution of the duty. It happens by that. On the path of Bhakti Yoga, because there is Shravanam, Kirtanam and all that, so it happens very quickly on the path of Bhakti Yoga. On the path of Nishkam Karma Yoga, there is some amount of bhakti, no doubt. All these paths are not devoid of bhakti. But then there are also the other aspects of Varnashrama. Typically, these practitioners are very attached to Varnashrama, and so they will do their duties perfectly. So that in turn gives them a antakarana shuddhi, the purity of heart after going through that duty for a certain time. And typically in Vedic time, 50 years is considered to be that time. One is expected to become free from that desire for enjoyment at the age of 50. Panchashordhvam vanam vrajet. Then one should take to the path of vanaprastha. So one can go there along with one's wife, but that relationship is now strictly spiritual. It's strictly to support one another in spiritual life. So like that, the person leads a vanaprastha life, And then after Vanaprastha's few years, even the wife comes back then to the son, and the man goes ahead for sannyas. That's the final stage, like that. So in this way, we can see that how Nishkam Karma Yoga offers that opportunity to get purified. Instead of becoming a pseudo-transcendentalist for the sake of wanton living and sense enjoyment, it is far better to remain in one's own business and execute the purpose of life, which is to get free from material bondage and enter into the kingdom of God. See, Prabhupada is saying, pseudo-transcendentalist. There are so many people like that in today's day and time, right? They will show as if they are great godmen, and then they will be collecting all objects of sense enjoyment. We see that so many of them every now and then they get exposed also, and then people lose the faith in sadhus also. Real sadhus also, I meant to say. So actually, Prabhupada says that it is far better to remain in one's own business. It's better that one takes a humble stand and one continues in one's execution of bhakti sincerely. It's a very nice point Prabhupada says. The whole institution of Varna and Ashrama is designed to help us reach this goal of life. A householder can also reach this destination by regulated service in Krishna consciousness. So in Krishna consciousness, actually, the ashram does not determine the perfection, isn't it? On the path of Jnana Yoga, you have to take sannyas. That's the way to practice that path. On the path of Nishkam Karma Yoga, once you have Antakaran Shuddhi, then you must take to the path of Jnana Yoga, typically speaking. That's how that path is there. If not, one can continue acting as a Nishkam Karma Yogi. But usually, the regular path is they typically take to Jnana Yoga so that they can achieve the perfection. So, we see that on those paths, it becomes important to accept the renounced order of life. But in bhakti, it's not like that. Anybody can go back to Godhead. A brahmachari can go, sannyasi can go, grahastha can go, vanaprastha can also go. Here, the perfection is not so much based upon ashrama. It's based upon the advancement that one is making. So sometimes a grahastha may be very advanced than a sannyasi also. It's possible. Sometimes a grahastha may be advanced than brahmachari. Sometimes a brahmachari may be advanced than grahastha, or whatever, n number of combinations. But the point is, yeah, naham. That's why, in bhakti, naham varni nacha grahapatir no vanastho yatirva. Lord Chaitanya said, we are identity is none of this. We don't identify with varna and ashrama. That's how the path of bhakti is different than Nishkam Karma Yoga. So, a householder can also reach by regulated service in Krishna consciousness. We see such wonderful householders in Prabhupada's moment also, in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes also, right? So many devotees, exalted Grahastha devotees, that way. So, it's about advancement. It's not so much about ashram. Whatever ashram suits you, you accept that. You should not push a person who is meant for brahmacharya ashram into grahastha ashram. And you should not push a person who is meant for grahastha ashram into brahmacharya ashram. Both will do a lot of utpad then. They will do a lot of disaster there. Why? Because incompatibility. So, everybody can take brahmachari training, no problem. But the point is that, one should understand one's natural element and then accordingly accept that mode of bhakti so that we can peacefully execute Krishna consciousness this way. So it's very important that we keep ourselves in a situation which is favorable for practicing bhakti. If that situation means Grihastha ashram, accept it. If that situation means Brahmacharya ashram, accept it. If that means sannyas ashram, oh, very nice, accept it. Whatever, this way. So what helps you to make progress? And this is also not one's own decision. This decision should be taken also in consultation with Guru, Shiksha Guru, and all these personalities. Otherwise, if we ask only our mind, that mind will always say, oh, no, no, you are not meant for this, you are not meant for that. We should also see our own mentality and also see how the guru and the superiors look at our life and what do they think about us, this way, that way. So this is the point. Especially it's very important that we are careful about this aspect in dhamas and all. In dhamas, everybody may look like a very great soul. I'm saying in dham, meaning in holy places like Vrindavan, Mayapur, or whatever, Ayodhya, Varanasi, and such places. So everybody may look renounced, everybody may look great soul, but we have to know also. We have to, sometimes we have to be careful. There may be people who are showing a lot of devotion, but they may be not proper sadhus. The land, Vrindavan also is called the land of devotion. But Prabhupada said it can be land of deviation also. Land of devotion, land of deviation, both. So one has to be very, very careful on that aspect, this way. So we should not be gullible. That's my point. One should also, okay, anybody wearing sadhu robes means, oh, must be great soul. Not necessarily. We can also see and check from senior devotees, others, and see their life. Also, you can, I mean, at least especially those who are in responsible positions. It's not our point so much to judge anyone, but the point is, if you want to especially understand who is who, then we should hear from devotees. We can find out from the superiors who understand and know about stature of a devotee. Uh, Again, I'm not saying that we should judge anyone. If we don't have that service, we stay away from that. We are just happy serving any devotee. But I'm saying from the angle of, if you are in a responsible position and you have to make sure that you are not gullible to just accept anybody and everybody that way. So it's important then in such cases that we have the proper evaluation of a devotee. And then based on that, we also know how to respect that devotee. As a Vaishnava, we will respect everyone, no doubt about it. But respect has its own levels also, right? Some people we will respect just by staying away from them. That's it. That's the respect we offer, that we want to stay away from them. So it's important that, yes, this aspect, Prabhupada writes such a powerful statement. This is also like one of the important statements that Prabhupada has written in his Bhagavad Gita. Golden statement, you could say. See this statement. A sincere person who follows this method is far better situated than the false pretender who adopts show bottle spiritualism to cheat the innocent public. And you see this statement, very beautiful. It's like for all of us. A sincere sweeper in the street is far better than the charlatan meditator who meditates only for the sake of making a living. See, the sincere sweeper is better than the charlatan meditator. So if we are sincerely practicing our bhakti in our own humble position, that is much better than being in a situation where we are hypocrite and we are trying to show something which we are not. That way, Krishna will see a sincere heart and bless that heart that way. So it's not for us to judge anyone, but at the same time, we shouldn't be also fools. We should not be gullible people who don't understand anything. So we respect everyone, but we also understand, and accordingly we give the respect. Those who are very sincere devotees, we are ready to offer our lives for them so that we can serve them nicely. But if we see some sadhus are not up to the mark, or who are sort of deviants or like that, then it's best to stay away. Although we might respect them, but we won't hear them. We don't want to follow them in our life. So in today's day of especially social media and all, we have to be very, very careful with this, because so many people speaking so many things, and if we don't have that ability to evaluate anyone, better is to hear only from the devotees who are in our institution, and especially those who are authorized to guide us in our spiritual life, right? Sometimes for an ignorant mind, everything may appear to be Krishna Katha. When it's ignorance, then ignorance is bliss, they say. So one may not understand also that there is some poison in that philosophy. So one has to become first educated. One should first become educated and get the ability to be able to evaluate someone. If we don't have that ability, then we should not be venturing into hearing too many people from social media and from other sampradayas and from Vrindavan's sampradayas and all. You may not understand that it may be actually sometimes Mayavad, it may be Sahajiya, it may be many other things. So I see that one of the main challenges that is coming with the current youth generations, or even the older generation, is too much of this distracted hearing from so many places, and they have these ideas in their mind which are not spoken anywhere by acharyas and all. So we study Srila Prabhupada books first and foremost. We study them thoroughly well. That if you have even deeper hunger, then you study Acharya's books, previous Acharya's books. You study Baladev Vidyabhushan, Vishwanath Chakravarti, Jiva Goswami, like that, Rupa Goswami and all. But if one has not studied Prabhupada's books nicely, if one has not finished even Prabhupada's purports, and then one is trying to read hi-fi stuff, it's not appreciated. What to speak of going out and hearing from someone who is not even in our sampradaya, and trying to forward those links to each other and make it viral? Not at all good, actually. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karma jayo hyakarmanah sharira yatra pichate na prasiddhe da karmanah. All right, so these two more verses, it's important. It completes this section. Braj Prakash Prabhu, you want to read this translation? 3.8. Okay, maybe Prabhu is busy. Param Sundari Radhika Mataji.
I
Param
can read.
Sundari Radha Mataji.
Hare Krishna
I can.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Ha.
Perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, Niyatam Kuru Karmatvam. That's why Karma Kuru, Niyatam Karma Kuru, Krishna is saying. Hey Arjuna, you perform your prescribed duties. Karma Jayo hi karmana. Karma Jayo, superior than akarma. Akarma here, by that Krishna means non-activity, non-action, jnana yoga. Akarma word is taken in different meanings, you know that. Here Krishna means akarmanaha means inaction, karma sannyas. Sharira yatra pichate na prasiddhe da karmana. In fact, he says, if you are speaking about non-action, it's not even possible to maintain one's body. Sharira yatra. What is Sharir Yatra? Sharir Yatra does not mean you go to a place called Sharir. Vrindavan Yatra, Sharir Yatra. No. Sharir Yatra means Sharir Nirvaha, which means that subsistence. You survive, you subsist. So even subsistence is not possible, survival is not possible if you are talking about inaction. Even to live, you need to perform certain action, right? What to speak of attaining moksha? Even to survive in this world, you have to perform some action. You have to eat, you have to breathe, you have to drink water. That much you have to do it like this. So Krishna is saying that's why don't take this, don't entertain these thoughts of non-action, inaction, karma sannyas. Don't do that. Instead, you perform your prescribed duty. You are a kshatriya, so fight. You should fight and win the war. Activity is required even for bodily maintenance. So what to speak of anything else? So he's saying that bodily maintenance is like such a basic thing. Just surviving in this world, if that needs activity, what to speak of these lofty goals like moksha and I mean at level of karmakand, a goal like kingdom or swarga, or in path of nishkam karma yoga moksha, jnana yoga moksha, in bhakti Krishna prema. What to speak of these lofty goals? You have to work hard for them. It can't that it will not just come like that. Krishna is just so much emphatic. So basically, he has given three reasons in this section why activity is better than inactivity. Karma jyayo hya karmana. Three reasons Krishna spoke in this section why activity is important. First and foremost, it is natural and it will lead to the purification of the heart. He spoke about that. Second, if one is not renounced and one takes to social order, then one will cause a lot of disruption, mithyachar. That's why you should perform activity, right? First reason he spoke is purification of heart. Second, he spoke, if you don't do that, you will cause a lot of disruption, mithyachar. And third reason he says that, well, if you don't perform activity, you can't even maintain body and soul. So what to speak of anything else? So you should perform the activity this way. So that's it. There are many pseudo meditators who misrepresent themselves as being great professional men of high parentage and who falsely pose that they have sacrificed everything for the sake of advancement in spiritual life. Lord Krishna did not want Arjuna to become a pretender. Rather, the Lord desired that Arjuna perform his prescribed duties set forth for the Kshatriyas. So this is the point. This is the sum and substance, in fact, of this section of entire first 6 chapters. Krishna wants Arjuna to fight as a Nishkam Karma Yogi, do his duties and set the right example. Work should not be given up capriciously without purification of materialistic propensities. So you see, Prabhupada is saying this thing. You can only renounce if you have antakaran shuddhi, if you have become free from desire to enjoy. Otherwise, you should continue to keep working that way. Anyone who is in the material world is certainly possessed of the impure propensity. So such polluted propensities have to be cleared. Without doing so, one should never attempt to become a so-called transcendentalist, renouncing work and living at the cost of others. Understand this point? So, Krishna is not discouraging renunciation per se. He is discouraging renunciation without the necessary purification, which will be the case for most of the people. And as the leader of the Kshatriyas, he does not want Arjuna to set a wrong example by doing this in the most unexpected setting of beginning a war. That way. Probably after the war, he wins the war, and then Arjuna says, I want to take up to Jnana Yoga. Krishna may have allowed also, probably. It's possible. I'm just saying it could be possible. But right now, this is Krishna's desire. This is what he wants to do. And this is also a wonderful example setting for everyone. As a Kshatriya, he must do his duty that way. Take a hypothetical scenario. If Arjuna would have wanted to take a Vaishnav sannyas here, if Arjuna wanted to take a Vaishnav sannyas here, not the Jnana Yoga, what do you think Krishna would have done? कोई बोलना चाहेगा?
So Prabhuji, if he would have taken the Vaishnava sannyas, he would have still fought because he is doing for the pleasure of Krishna.
Okay, good. Okay, good, interesting that. Okay, he would have allowed Arjuna to take Vaishnava sannyas and would have said that, now as a sannyasi, instruct you to fight. What more? Anyone else? What do you say? Anyone else? If Arjuna wanted to take Vaishnava sannyas, not Jnana Yoga, then what would have Krishna done to him? No other munis here?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I still think Krishna would ask him to fight because as a devotee, fighting is his duty and it is also a service to all the people who appreciate the Pandavas' qualities and who want the Pandavas to rule.
Yeah, good. All right, good. Yes, so both of you are right in the sense that Krishna would have asked Arjuna certainly to fight. It is true that's what is Krishna's desire. He wants Arjuna to fight. Now, usually speaking, Krishna also keeps the Varnashram order intact. So, as a sannyasi, he would not engage Arjuna to fight a war. He would say, he would have said probably that no, you first fight this war. And after you win the battle, as soon as you win the battle, you take the sannyas. I don't mind it. Because you have done my desire. Finally, Krishna actually is taking Arjuna to a level where Krishna is saying that you fight this battle because I desire it. So this is his desire, that's it. He is not taking Arjuna's own spiritual status into consideration or anything like that. Even I would say factors like what would be the ideal situation, they are also in a way of factors which are less important, secondary only. The primary factor is what was Krishna's desire here. His desire was that Arjuna should fight and this battle should be won and dharma should be established. That's it. So this particular thing he has in his mind. So he would have asked Arjuna to do this. And then after that, if he wishes, he can take sannyas or whatever he wants to do, he can do. Why? Because it would be most appropriate if a Kshatriya fights, right? Although in Bhakti, I mean, a sannyasi can fight. It's possible. Principally, it's possible. In Bhakti, the Varnashrama duties and all that, they don't apply. But still, Krishna keeps, you can say, that compatibility in a way. He wouldn't want a sannyasi keeping his sannyas danda on the chariot and pick up the, uh, the bow and arrows or like that, this way. So you are right in understanding of this principle that Krishna would want Arjuna to fight only. He would certainly want Arjuna to fight. And that's what he accomplished also finally. That's what he finally in Bhagavad Gita, he would say, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraj. You just surrender unto me. My desire is to fight. Finished. You fight for that. You don't think about setting example, this, that. All these factors are gone. What's the greatest factor? It is my pleasure. What do I want? So you follow that. So it may appear like Krishna is Supreme Lord who is just so self-focused or like that. But not like that actually. Krishna knows that for a jiva, the greatest welfare activities, to do what Krishna wants to do. That's the greatest welfare thing for a jiva to perform. So that's how it is. Because he is the Supreme Lord. So whatever he desires, that's the best thing for the jiva. So if he desires Yudhishthira to speak lies, that's the best thing. That may become a not so much a good example for others to follow and all, whatever. It may cause some confusion also. Still Yudhishthira did it. Still he did it. So you see, this is the standard of acting. What's the desire of Krishna? So usually speaking, he will keep it morally also upright, but it need not be. You know, when Karna was taking out that chariot, was it difficult for Krishna to allow him to take out that chariot and then stand on a chariot and have a fair fight? Why should he instruct Arjuna to kill Karna when he was taking out the chariot wheel? But you see, that's how he is. That was his desire. So even if it may be misunderstood by the people coming in the world later, he doesn't care about it. He wanted that somebody like Karna, who had done so much of adharma, should be also killed in a dharmic way. He killed personality like Abhimanyu, 7 Maharathis together, attacking one Abhimanyu and killing him in completely religious manner. Giving a suggestion like we should disrobe Draupadi in front of everybody. Such a vicious person. So Krishna said he does not deserve a death, which is of Kshatriya. You kill him in this situation only. So you see, finally for a devotee, what matters is actually that desire of Krishna. That's it. That's the standard of acting. And Krishna is taking Arjuna to that standard slowly. Right now, he's speaking at the level of karma yoga. But finally, that's what he recommends Arjuna in bhakti yoga and further later this way. So, yes, it's true. Even if Arjuna would have approached Krishna saying, no, I just want to dedicate my life in service to you by taking Vaishnava sannyas. So Krishna would have said, okay, you can take that later. First you fight, you dedicate life in my service by fighting right now. This way. Okay, thank you. So this is the final verse which tells also about if Arjuna fights like this, will there be a bondage? So Krishna concludes by saying, no, there won't be any bondage if you fight like this on Nishkam Karma Yoga. यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्त संगः समाचर. Okay. Yes, now Prabhuji can read. Braj Prakash Prabhu, you can read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
You want to ask something?
No, Prabhuji. Actually, I have joined from my father's phone.
Oh, okay. You are there. Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Nitya Manjari, please read.
Okay, Prabhuji. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondage. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Yes, so if Arjuna were to ask this question that, but okay, Krishna, but what about finally the karma bandhana and this particular aspect? So Krishna says, Arjuna, yajnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. If you perform the activity for anything else apart from yajna, for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu, yajna here means Lord Vishnu. So if you perform activity for any other purpose apart from yajna, yajna, precisely. So then that would lead to karma bandhana. It would lead to bondage. But tadartham karma kaunteya. But that's why I'm telling you, you perform the karma for his pleasure or for his sake, tadartham, as an offering to Vishnu. Mukta Sangha Samachara, and in this way become Mukta Sangha. become free from all attachment, free from all bondage. So you see how Krishna is saying that this, don't think that this path will cause any sort of bondage to you. No, just perform these activities as an offering to Lord Vishnu. This way. So you can see it is this particular verse is it's in some way it's also speaking about bhakti yoga, or you could say it is nishkam karma yoga also, but technically speaking, nishkam karma yoga called as bhagavad arpit nishkam karma yoga. See what I'm going to tell you, try to understand this. See, when nishkam karma yoga is performed, no, one can have this consciousness like I offer everything to the Supreme. Whatever I do, I don't do to enjoy my senses, but this is my duty towards the Supreme. Now, what that Supreme is, no, it can depend on the practice of that worshipper. One may consider Brahman as that Supreme, and typically such people then attain moksha as the goal of Nishkam Karma Yoga. But if one considers Supreme Lord as the Supreme, I mean, Supreme Lord as that ultimate truth, like here Krishna is mentioning here, Tadartham, do it as the duty for the sake of Lord Vishnu. So if a Nishkam Karma Yogi has this understanding within him that I am doing this as an offering to Vishnu, so then he is called not just Nishkam Karma Yogi, but he is called Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yogi. So you can see this on my screen. Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yogi. So general Nishkam Karma Yogi is there, which is a general one. And he may have understanding like Brahman is supreme and I offer my activities as an offering to Brahman, or I do this as the duty to the Supreme, and he may have typically that Supreme idea as Brahman. That's why such people then I attain also Sayujya, right? They attain Sayujya because they are considering Brahman as the goal of their life. Although they know about Supreme Lord, the knowledge of Bhagavan is there. It's not that they are devoid of the knowledge of Bhagavan. They have, but their focus is on this aspect, Brahman. I offer everything as an offering to the Supreme Brahman. While this person, Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yogi, he does everything as an offering to Bhagavan. And that's why these people who are Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yogi, they don't attain Sayujya actually. Typically, they attain Shantaras in the spiritual world. Shantaras. So it again, I will clarify this in the yoga ladder, but I'm telling you right here now, there is difference between you could say a general Nishkam Karma Yogi and a Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yogi who has all his activities especially directed to Bhagavan. So still he is not a Bhakta. Still something is missing in him. That's why such a person cannot attain the further rasas like Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, but he can attain up to Shantarasa only, such a person. So, you see, Krishna is practically recommending in Bhagavad Gita's first 6 chapters this particular Nishkam Karma Yoga, called as Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yoga. Whenever he's speaking Nishkam Karma Yoga, no, he basically is recommending this one. He sometimes may not say that in the verse, but he will conclude with that. Like you see in this verse, in these series of verses, we were talking about this, but then finally he concluded by saying, Yajnarthat karmanonyatra. So this yajna is Lord Vishnu. Tadartham, for his sake, you perform the karma. Still, it is not bhakti actually. It is Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yoga. This way. So, that's how it is. Prabhupada says, Yajna means Lord Vishnu or sacrificial performances. All sacrificial performances also are meant for satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. Yajna vai Vishnuhu. Yajna means Vishnu, like that. So, therefore, one has to work for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Other works, they will cause the bondage. Nothing should be performed for sense gratification, but everything should be done for satisfaction of Krishna. So Krishna, I mean, Prabhupada speaks as a bhakti yoga only. Again, he is directly speaking in a manner of bhakti yoga. But Krishna is actually speaking about Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yoga over here. He is speaking in a way that, okay, perform your duties in that manner. So you know that there is difference between Bhakti Yoga and Nishkam Karma Yoga, no matter what. Even if it is Bhagavad Arpit, still there is a difference only. That's why you see the goal of this is not being said to be Krishna Prema, or especially it's not being said to be Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya and such rasas that way. So that's it for this section. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So are there any questions? I can take some and then we'll stop for today. Yes. Are there any questions on what we discussed?
Yes, Prabhuji, one question.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
go on, Mataji.
Let's go one by one.
Yeah, please go on,
Nitin
Mataji. I'll
Prabhu,
ask
then
later.
Param Sundari Radha Mataji later, because I heard you before Prabhu. So you go ahead.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavad Pranam, Prabhuji. Very, very informative lecture. So on 3.9, Prabhu, so it says work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. So why does it say sacrifice for Vishnu? Why does not it say sacrifice for Krishna?
Yeah, because yajna, yajna in Vedas and all that, it will always be spoken in terms of Vishnu. Prabhupada quotes also in purport, yajna vai Vishnu. So when we say Vishnu, see, if you see Vedic scriptures, because they talk a lot about a jiva in the material world and how they should serve the Supreme Lord. So there is a lot of talk in Vedas about Vishnu, because you can see that actually Krishna is that form of Lord who primarily is there in the spiritual world. And he comes only once in a day of Brahma to perform some pastimes so as to draw the conditioned souls towards his lotus feet. But Vishnu is actually acting in the material world. He's, you can say in Trivid Purushas, three kinds of Purushas, Kshirodakshayi, Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshayi. He is creating and then he's also maintaining the universe. Later, he also takes everything within him. So Vishnu is very prominent personality in the context of the material world. So Vedas often speak about Vishnu only. Vishnu, 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 like that way. So here the word Prabhu, by yajna, we can take that Vishnu, but it basically means Vishnu, Krishna, Rama, fine, Vishnu Tattva. And that whole category of truth called Vishnu Tattva, which involves all of that. So because we are devotees of Krishna, naturally we will understand it as Krishna, because Krishna, Vishnu, they are not different. It's like we do understand that basically Krishna only has taken that form of Vishnu to act within the material world. So because the context of material world has a lot of functionality by Vishnu, so typically Vishnu meaning is taken in Vedas of that word yajna. But we saw Krishna will later say in the 9th chapter and he also in the 10th chapter, so that he'll say aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta Maheshwara. He will say, I am the bhokta, the enjoyer of all the sacrifice. That's why I'm known as Yageshwara. So he will declare it many times later. He is only Yagya that way. Understand, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very clear. Hare Krishna. Dhanavad.
Dandavat Pranam. Yes, Mataji, you have a question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, I have this question that you said that Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yogi, he does everything for Krishna, but still he is not a bhakta. He is not into bhakti yoga. So, Prabhu, what is the difference between the
Yeah.
two and how he can be a bhakta? Like
Yes.
how he can perform uh, the way that he wants to be a bhakta? What is the
Yes, very
difference,
nice.
Prabhu?
Very nice. Yes. Anybody wants to tell this? We had once discussed. Can someone tell me difference between a Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yogi and Bhakti Yogi?
Prabhu, Arpit Nishkam Karma Yoga means Nishkam Karma Yoga offered to Bhagwan. Now, Bhagwan necessarily is not Krishna in the Nishkam Karma Yogi's mind. So it can be, for example, Brahman. So so that's my understanding, Prabhuji. So Bhagwan here, so Bhagavad Arpit doesn't necessarily means Krishna. If it becomes Krishna, then of course Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yoga is very close to bhakti, apart from the fact that it is done as a duty, not for pleasure of Krishna.
Okay. Okay. You are partially right, but still something more is there. Anybody remembers what more into this?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Uh,
pranams.
Pranams Mataji.
Prabhuji, here Nishkam Karma Yogi main focus on the process of the Varnashram ashram, not on the to their purpose to please the Lord, but the bhakta's purpose is mainly to both are doing not for ours for his pleasing to give the all to result the Lord, but here bhakta want to please the Lord, their process or the outcome everything for the Lord, but here the process they are doing just varnashram, they are more focused on more connect to the that process which is the varnashram.
Wow, very
What
nice. Brilliant. So this is one very important point that you have raised. So that's very nice. The process itself is a very important point over here. I'm still looking for one more point. Shri Padambush Prabhu, did you raise the hand?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
This Bhagavad Arpit Nishkama Karma Yoga, they are still attached to the karma to some level.
Yes. Yes. What does that mean?
So they are not fully surrendered onto the Lord, everything. So still some level of self, their self enjoyment is there, centered at the Karma Yoga. So
Really? Self-enjoyment, Prabhu? Then how they will be Nishkam?
because they still attached to some results, they are
Oh, really?
expecting
No,
some.
no, 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 no. Oh, no, no, you are insulting Nishkam Karma Yogi. He is not attached to results at all. Uh, yes, Nitin Prabhu, you want to add something?
No, Prabhuji, I realized when you said that, because I was thinking that Nishkam Karma Yogi, finally he's looking for attaining Brahman. So that's his calm. So we are looking for, as a bhakta, you're looking for, there's no calm. You're just looking for the pleasure of the Lord. So there is absolutely no motive. That is, yeah.
Yeah. On one way, yes, that is also acceptable. One very important point you people are missing. Uh, Process is one good thing that Mamta Mataji spoke. That process itself, the Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yogi also has Varnashrama only as the thrust of the process, while Bhakta has Shravanam Ketanam as the thrust of the process. We are primarily worried about that. You tell me, as Grahasthas, if you were offered a small occupation of just 1 or 2 hours and which will maintain you very nicely, and rest of the time you have for Shravanam Kirtanam, will you be happy to do that or not? You will be very happy, right? Oh, whole day we are ready to do Shravanam Kirtanam if we are just maintained. But because you have to maintain yourself, so you have to work also, isn't it? Otherwise, how will we maintain? But given a chance, we would love to give entire time for Shravanam Ketanam. This is not how the Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yogi thinks. No. For him, the primary process to serve God is following his varnashrama only. Huh? So if he is a brahmana, he will do पठन पाठन यजन याजन दान प्रतिग्रह, वो वही करेगा. उसको बोला कि आपने श्रवणम कीर्तनम करो, तो भी वो बोलेगा नहीं मैं तो वर्णाश्रमी हूं. मैंने ये करना चाहिए. दिस इज माय धर्म. I will do some shravanam kirtanam also, no problem. But main thing is varnashrami. So now remember this. I'm going to ask you later also. This is a very important point. You cannot forget this difference. So note it down and just fix it in your mind. What is the difference between Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yogi and Bhakti Yogi? Whenever I ask, you have to talk in terms of two: identity, and second is the process. What is the identity? Is it Krishna Das or is it Varnashrama? Nitin Prabhu?
So for Nishkam, for Bhakti,
I'm asking for this Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yogi. What is the identity? Varnashrama. That's right. And what is his process?
So following the Varnashrama duties.
Following the duties of Varnashram. That's right. Duties of Varnashram. That's the process. Now, if you take Bhakta, so Sripadambuj Prabhu, what is the identity of Bhakta?
Prabhuji, he is Lord's servant.
So Krishna Das, right? Krishna Das is his identity. So see, this is the Bhakti Yoga. He is having the identity as Krishna Das, not as a Varnashrami. Varnashrami matlab kya hota hai identity? I am a Brahmana, I am a Kshatriya, I am a Vaishya, I am a Shudra. ये होता है identity. While Bhakti Yogi has the identity, I am Krishna Das. That's it. I am servant of Krishna. And his process is what? Sripadam Prabhu, what is the process?
Yes, Prabhuji, Navavidha Bhakti.
Navavidha Bhakti, very nice. That's it, Shravanam Kirtanam. So this is the difference. As far as goal is concerned, Bhakti, Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yogi, just take the goal also, add in this goal. So his goal is that he basically attains Shantarasa towards the Supreme Lord. So you can say he also goes to the spiritual world. Fine, but because it is a process which is more directed towards, you can say, a sort of dutiful service to the Lord. So there is not so much love aspect there. That Nitin Pro also said, right? They perform primarily the duty. They don't have any sense enjoyment desire. No, not at all. But still, they don't have very great love also for God. So typically at the level of Shantaras, Shastras say that there may be love and devotion, but it's not like the other four rasas. It's a very, there you talk about actual real, aspect of that love. So that's why these people, they may at most attain Shantarasa, but Bhakti Yogi he attains Dasya onwards, Dasya plus all, and it is basically Krishna Prema. It is actually very intense bhakti that he attains, Krishna Prema, that way. So this is the difference. Now you should remember this difference always. If you just add the, instead of Bhagavad Arpit, just a plain NKY fellow, Nishkam Karma Yogi, then his identity is Varnashrama. His process is duties of Varnashrama. What changes is only the goal, first goal. If you just take NKY, General Nishkam Karma Yogi, you could say, उसका क्या गोल रहता है बताएगा कोई? Sripadam Vajbro. Yes, what is the goal?
Sayujya Mukti Prabhuji.
Sayujya, that's it. Got it. देखो clear है अभी आपको. Got these three processes very clear now. So
Yes,
what
Prabhuji,
Krishna is, what Krishna is recommending Arjuna is basically this, Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yoga. He is not recommending this also. But when he speaks about this Nishkam Karma Yoga, no, he mixes the statements. He speaks about Nishkam Karma Yoga, general also, and then he suddenly will conclude by saying that's why you should perform the activities as an offering to Vishnu. So he's suddenly switching it to Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yoga. So Krishna is obviously aware of what he's speaking. The point is, he just takes that process as Nishkam Karma Yoga, a generic process. So he speaks about it generically, but his recommendation to perform is Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yoga only. Because usually as a conclusion, he will typically speak about this only. Like even in this section, you see, Ant mein aa hi gaya yajnarthat karmanonyatra. That way. So that's how. So these people, general Nishkam Karma Yogis, also are aware about Bhagavan, but their focus is on Brahman. See, they are not unaware of Bhagavan. Note this carefully. Nishkam Karma Yogis are not unaware of Bhagavan. They know about Bhagavan, but their focus is on Brahman. That's why they attain Sayujya. Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yogi, they know Bhagavan and they are also focused on offering their activities as an offering to Bhagavan. But still it is devoid of that aspect of love. It's not so much imbued with love. So that's why then it is just a Shantaras. At most they can achieve that. Vishwan Chakravarti has given this analysis. What I am telling you is actually, Vishwan Chakravarti explains this in the 18th chapter. But I am telling you right now here only, so that you are clear with this concept. That way. Okay. So I am sure now, Param Sundari Radha Mataji, you are clear with the answer, right?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, can you please tell me the examples of Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yogi and Nishkam Karma Yogi, if we have some?
See, these sort of examples, especially in Shastras and all that, verses like Bhagavatam and all, they speak examples, like especially in Bhagavatam, there are primarily examples of these bhaktas only, or sometimes the mixed bhaktas and all that. But in other Puranas and all, you hear about certain Brahmanas who was a worshipper of this Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yoga. You hear about such stories in other Puranas and all that. So it's more like a path which is not so much spoken in Bhagavad Puran or in the literatures that we study. It's more described as a process like that. There are some Brahmanas mentioned, in the Vishnu Puran, which perform this Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yoga practice, like that. See, Krishna is telling even Janaka performed Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yoga. He says, Karmana eva hi samsiddhim asthito Janaka daya later. But we know that Janaka is just setting the example of Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yoga. This Janaka is father of Mother Sita, so obviously he's a pure devotee. How can you be father of Mother Sita without being a pure devotee? But Krishna still gives example to Arjuna, saying, see, these personalities, they perform Nishkam Karma Yoga. So why don't you also act like them this way? So that's how it is. And general Nishkam Karma Yoga, where one may be offering his activities to Brahman or like that. I don't remember any particular example from anywhere. These are more described as the paths. So there are examples of Jnana Yoga and such processes. At least nothing comes to my mind on general Nishkam Karma Yoga path, which is not a Bhagavad Arpit path. That way. If I get some example, I'll let you know. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mamta Mataji, you have something?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, that the Brahmana's example, Brahmana's wife example, can we relate or understand?
You can only tell
Uh,
now. You know Brahmanas, that story, right? So which path they
yes,
should be belonging
Brahmana,
to?
they are doing yajna, but they are not ready to give that Lord Krishna that those things. But Brahmana's wife understood that he is Sakshat
Yeah.
Bhagavan. They are
So what path those
of
Brahmanas must be demonstrating? What are they practicing?
so they are more focused on the yagyas, Prabhuji, that time, on the process. They are not able to recognize Lord Himself. So
So
how can we
what
understand?
do
I'm just
you think? What are they then?
I'm actually confused. So
Okay,
I
you are
want
confused. No
to
problem. Anybody
clarify.
else? Anybody else? Okay.
Karma
What do
If
Kanda
we
these
can
Prabhuji.
Brahmanas?
relate
We
like
can
that, relate. Sorry,
Karma Kanda Prabhuji, basically Yagna they are doing is Karma Kanda only without.
Okay, Shripadam Butch says Karmakand. Anybody else wants to?
Prabhuji, maybe Bhagvat Arpit Nishkam Karmi Yogi.
Those Brahmanas, huh? You know the story, right?
Yes, Prabhu. So
Acha.
they were performing yagya and they were performing yagya for the Lord only. Like they knew who Bhagwan is, but still they are not realizing. So maybe they are doing that. I don't know, Prabhu. I'm not sure.
Okay,
So,
any other? Nitin Prabhu,
so
what do
Prabhu,
you say?
the Brahmanas. So either you can, depending on what exactly are they desiring, it can be either Karma Kand or Nishkam Karma Yoga. The wives are the Bhagavad Arpit Nishkam Karma Yoga, Prabhu.
Okay. But have you read that full story, Nitin Prabhu? You have read it or
Uh,
heard it? You
I've
haven't,
heard it, Prabhu, but not,
but
I
not
mean,
fully.
not, yeah.
No problem. No problem. That's okay. You can read that story. It's there in Krishna book. It must be around, I think, 23rd or 22nd chapter from 10th canto. So if you read that story carefully, no, it is not that difficult to understand what path they are following. It's the path of Karmakand. They are Karmakandi priests. Very clear. Why they are Karmakandi priests? Because if they would have understood that, if they would have understood, and also they would have been on the platform where they are ready to offer everything for as an offering to Vishnu. So when Sakshat Vishnu came ahead, came in front of them, uh, they would not have failed to recognize uh, Vishnu, and Vishnu's servants came. They knew also about Lord Krishna and Lord Krishna's wonderful activities and all. uh, But then they were also proud and they were attached to their own Karmakandi status and all that. They didn't know exactly about Krishna's position. They had heard about it, but they still were not fully enlightened on that. And so this was one thing, the ignorance aspect itself. And later, when Krishna realized, they understood Krishna is actually non different than Vishnu and he blessed our wives so much and all. Even then, they could not go to meet Krishna. You know this? Why? Because they were so fearful of Kamsa that they dropped the idea of going to meet Krishna. So they didn't have faith also that Krishna will protect. So this sort of behavior of them, that even when they realized how their wives were blessed by Supreme Lord and how those women, they looked so effulgent and so much filled with Krishna Prem, they looked just divine women. So the Brahmanas immediately understood that they have been blessed by Krishna and Krishna's prema, certainly. Uh, but then still they couldn't meet Krishna, you can believe. Why? Because they were so fearful that Kamsa will punish them if he comes to know. So you can see clearly a lack of faith in protection of Krishna, lack of understanding of Krishna, uh, also being attached to their own position of being a Brahmana and being called as Karmakandi Brahmana. So they are Karmakandis actually. They are not Bhagavadarpit Nishkam Karma Yogis or anything like that. What about their wives? They're pure devotees. The wives are not following the path of, you could say, even the Vaishnava, the Vedic Karma Kand or anything. They are doing the duty under their husband, so they are doing their duties, but they were pure devotees of Krishna actually. They had heard Krishna's stories from the gopis who would come to Mathura to sell the butter and buttermilk and all that. And just by hearing, they had developed love for Krishna. Later, when Krishna bestowed upon them his mercy, so they then just they shone forth. They were brilliant with that pure Krishna's prema that has become now extremely effulgent in their heart. But they were actually pure devotees of Krishna already. So they were following the path of pure bhakti, you can say. So even a bhakta can be within varnashrama setting, but he can be a pure devotee there. Why? Because his identification is I am Krishna Das. And also that one may be just doing the sake of the duty of varnashrama, but one may be completely absorbed in hearing Krishna, thinking about Krishna. So these ladies were like that. They had heard about Krishna and constantly they would just think about Krishna, meditate on him, and feel like when can they get opportunity to meet Krishna. So that anticipation was their very special characteristic. So they were following the path of pure bhakti, already on that level of pure bhakti. So that's the story. So if you can see, if you read that section, you can easily understand that, yes, they are Karmakandi priests. Yes. Okay, so thank you. So thank you all very much. Let's continue tomorrow. I hope, yeah, so I hope that there is no issue in hearing and all, right? Everything is fine. Are you having some difficulty to hear or anything? No,
It's
right?
very
Prabhuji,
clear, Prabhuji.
everything is fine.
Yeah.
So let's